If you work in water treatment, have you ever encountered a customer or potential customer who says they've measured the water with a TDS meter, or tells you that a salesperson came to their house with a TDS meter and told them the water isn't good quality, and so they themselves also say the water isn't good quality? Well, when it comes to the TDS meter, there are some things that are true and some things that are false. What's the difference? The difference is that those who know exactly how to respond to these customers are perceived as professionals and are therefore able to steer the contract signing in their favor. On the other hand, those who don't know how to respond risk losing contracts because they're unprepared. So in this video, I want to show you first of all what the TDS meter actually measures. Let's start from here, and then I want to explain why. Activated carbon filters do not alter the TDS of water, contrary to what is often believed and what many of your end customers think. So let's start from the beginning. First of all, what is TDS? TDS stands for total dissolved solids, which basically means the total amount of solids dissolved in water. In other words, it refers to all the solids that have completely mixed into the water and are no longer visible as separate particles. So we're talking about salts, ions, and any solid particles, it's important to understand this, that are dissolved in water. So how does the TDS device work? The little instrument you put in the water that gives you a value on the display. First of all, it has two probes and measures the electrical conductivity of the water between the two probes. So what happens is, the richer the water is in salts, the higher its conductivity will be. This means that the number on the display will be very, very high. So the higher the number on the display, the higher the water's conductivity, and therefore the more mineral salts it contains. Now listen carefully to this. If your end customers measure the TDS of the water, they measure it before the water enters the purifier, and then measure it again after the water comes out of the purifier, and the TDS doesn't change. It's not a problem with the filter, okay? This is a false myth, a false belief. The filter is working perfectly. So I'm talking about carbon filters. Why? Because activated carbon filters are not designed to reduce TDS. In fact, activated carbon filters are designed to block organoleptic substances like heavy metals. Sometimes they improve the smell of the water, they improve the taste of the water and so on, but they are not designed to lower TDS. Think of it this way. Picture it like a mosquito net. Imagine a mosquito net. It lets air through, in this case the minerals in the water, but blocks mosquitoes. And in this case, the mosquitoes are all the organic particles, okay? So that's what the activated carbon filter blocks. So measuring the quality and effectiveness of an activated carbon filter with a TDS meter is like measuring temperature with a ruler, okay? It means that both tools are obviously good, but they need to be used for the right purposes. So how do you use it? And more importantly, where do you use the TDS meter? The TDS meter is used to measure the effectiveness of reverse osmosis systems, to check how well the reverse osmosis membranes are still working and if they're actually doing their job. For example, you can take tap water, measure it, and see that it's 300 parts per million, okay? The TDS meter gives you 300 parts per million. After the activated carbon filter, it will probably be 295 parts per million, okay? But if we measure it after reverse osmosis, it will even be 10 parts per million. I gave you this example to make it clear. So if you want to measure the effectiveness and see if the reverse osmosis membranes are actually working, using the TDS meter in this case is exactly the right situation for it, and that's what you should let your customers know. So to sum up, we've seen that the TDS measures minerals, the dissolved solids in the water, while the carbon filter deals with everything related to the taste and smell of the water. So we're measuring two completely different things. Now I hope this video has been useful to you, and I hope you can use these points to your advantage with your end customers in water treatment, so that you can help them understand not to believe those charlatans who go around measuring with a meter and claim the water is bad just to sell their systems. But you, when you find yourself in situations like that, know how to defend yourself, know what to say, know how to maintain your reputation, and be seen as an expert. As a result, your end customers will listen to you and sign rental contracts for your systems. That's all for this video. And I strongly recommend you do one thing. Click the subscribe button so you can subscribe to the Onnwater YouTube channel and not miss these videos. Actually, the best way not to miss them is to click the bell button, because you'll get a notification every time a new video comes out. That way, you'll always be up to date with new information. Bye.